At the foot of tall mountains, where clouds often touched the earth and the morning air carried the scent of wet leaves, there stretched a vast and beautiful forest known to all as the Green Forest. It was not an ordinary forest. It breathed, listened, and remembered. Every tree seemed alive with stories, every river whispered secrets of the past, and every creature living within it shared a bond deeper than survival. When dawn arrived, sunlight slipped gently through thick branches, painting golden patterns on the forest floor. Birds welcomed the morning with soft melodies, deer moved quietly through tall grass, monkeys leapt playfully from tree to tree, and insects hummed like a living orchestra. Life flowed in harmony, guided not by fear but by understanding. The Green Forest was ruled by a mighty lion named Shirzad. His powerful frame and golden mane inspired awe, yet it was his heart that truly made him king. Shirzad was not a ruler who relied on fear. He had learned, through loss and experience, that strength without compassion was empty. Long ago, he had seen how cruelty destroyed trust and how arrogance invited ruin. Since then, he had sworn to rule with fairness. Every day, Shirzad walked through different parts of the forest. He listened more than he spoke. If two animals argued, he heard both sides. If someone was in pain, he stayed until comfort replaced fear. To him, leadership meant responsibility, not dominance. Among all the animals, the one Shirzad trusted most was Gujraj, the great elephant. Gujraj was enormous, yet gentle. His slow movements carried the weight of wisdom, and his eyes reflected memories of countless seasons. He remembered floods that had swallowed trees, droughts that had cracked the earth, and fires that had turned green into ash. Animals often gathered near him, knowing his words were shaped by experience. Gujraj believed that a forest survived not because of the strongest animal, but because of balance. He often reminded others that every creature mattered, whether it walked on four legs, flew with wings, or crawled close to the ground. Living quietly near a clear pond was Sabir the tortoise. He was slow, and many underestimated him. Yet Sabir observed the world with patience few could match. He spoke rarely, but when he did, his words carried clarity. While others rushed to conclusions, Sabir waited. While panic spread, Sabir remained calm. Over time, animals learned that patience often revealed solutions hidden by haste. In the deeper parts of the forest lived Famida the fox. Her sharp eyes missed nothing, and her mind was always working. Some animals feared her intelligence, mistaking cleverness for dishonesty. But Famida had chosen long ago how she would use her gift. She watched for danger, studied patterns, and understood signs others ignored. Many disasters were avoided because Famida sensed trouble before it arrived. Among the gentlest souls in the forest was Nuri the deer. She moved gracefully, but it was her kindness that truly defined her. She cared for the sick, comforted frightened young ones, and stood beside those who felt alone. Nuri believed kindness had a language all hearts understood, even without words. Life flowed peacefully until one unforgiving summer afternoon when disaster struck without warning. A small spark, fed by dry leaves and strong winds, grew into a roaring fire. Flames leapt from tree to tree, smoke darkened the sky, and fear spread like poison. Animals ran blindly, separated from families, hearts pounding with terror. In the midst of chaos, Shirzad's roar echoed through the forest, not a roar of anger, but of command and reassurance. He called out for unity, reminding everyone that survival did not lie in selfish escape, but in collective effort. Gujraj rushed toward the river, using his powerful trunk to carry water again and again, spraying it over burning areas. Monkeys descended from trees, freeing trapped animals and guiding them to safer ground. Birds flew high, spotting paths untouched by fire and signaling directions with sharp cries. Sabir moved slowly but steadily, carrying injured and exhausted creatures on his shell. Nuri gathered the young and weak, shielding them from smoke and fear. Famida ran ahead, identifying where the fire would spread next and warning others before it was too late. Hours passed. Bodies ached. Lungs burned. Yet no one gave up. When the fire finally died, the forest stood wounded but alive. Ash covered the ground, but hope filled the air. That day, the green forest learned that unity could overcome even the fiercest destruction. Time passed, and as the forest healed, a new challenge emerged. Rain stopped falling. Rivers shrank, ponds dried, and thirst crept into every living being. Fear returned, quieter this time, but deeper. Shirzad called everyone together. Gujraj spoke calmly, reminding them that fighting over water would destroy them faster than drought itself. A decision was made to share what little remained. Predators reduced their intake. Elephants waited until others drank. Birds carried drops of water to the smallest creatures. It was a time of sacrifice, but also of trust. Because of unity, life endured. One night, under a moonless sky, a new threat arrived. A pack of ruthless wolves from outside the forest invaded, believing the drought had weakened its inhabitants. They expected fear and disorder. Instead, they found preparation. Shirzad stood firm, his presence unshaken. Gujraj blocked narrow paths. Monkeys created chaos among the attackers. Birds struck from above. Famida led enemies into confusion and dead ends. United, the forest defended itself. The wolves fled, defeated not by brute force, but by cooperation. Not long after, sickness spread quietly. Animals fell weak, unable to hunt or move. Yet once again, no one was abandoned. Nuri stayed beside the ill, birds brought healing herbs, and Sabir ensured rest and patience guided. Recovery. Slowly, health returned. When peace finally settled, the forest gathered beneath the open sky. Shirzad looked at the faces around him, different in shape, size, and strength, yet united in spirit. He spoke softly, reminding them that their differences were not weaknesses, but strengths woven together by friendship. The green forest continued to thrive, not because danger disappeared, but because its inhabitants chose unity over fear, compassion over selfishness, and friendship over power. And so, the forest remained alive, not just with life, but with meaning.